have its own customer code in the business center. So with events now, yeah.
So can you see the screen now?
You can go ahead.
Although you might need to change your network or something, so you are able to follow, because, well, you can still watch the video later, but what will it doesn't make sense because you are currently here and you can't see it live. All right, so what I want to do is we just want to create a record, and from this record we want to build on top of it. So building on top of it is we are now showing different scenarios that can occur. We are going to be working with table relations, the different type of possible things we can do with the table relation, the validation, and many more like that. So I want to create a record called student record. Like we gave example, that's what we worked on the last time. So I want to create a table. So I'm just going to leave the table ID to the system to generate, and then I'm going to call this student. So we have a record called students. So for these students, we are going to be creating, the first field is going to be the ID, right? So we can call this matric number, and this will be a code of 20. So what you should note that when we are working with most time, except you are working with a setup, when we're working with a setup record, that is when we use the primary key as the length as 10. So, but by default, Microsoft allows us to use 20 as the primary key. That's the length of the primary key. So I'm just going to copy this and insert this as my primary key. So like we said the last time, the unique thing about each individual student is their matric number or their ID. They could have the same name, they could have the same surname. So at least we are able to differentiate them by their matric number. So I'll also create some other fields. So this is 2, and this is going to be let's say first name. So for first name, I'm going to be using a text. So I know that at most, this person's name should not exceed a length of 100. So I'm going to copy the same field or replicate it for the last name. Akoni, can you see now?
Yes, so but I don't know. I can see on my screen is lagging.
Okay,
But
so
since
we have
the session is recording, so no problem.
yeah. So we have matric number, first name, last name. Let's also take some personal details like the age, what other information can we get? Sex. So you can either make it an option or we create an enum for this sex. So this is 5. So if I say this is an option, then you would see that the system gives this error. So I need to remove this and I need to add option member. I give a option member of an empty first, then male, female, let's say map. So I can also create a option caption for this. Just the same thing. Let me just copy this. All right, so we have first name, last name, age, sex. Then we can also have something called departments. But at this point, we have to create another record for departments. We have to also create for faculty. So you can say 6 departments. 20. So we'd also have faculty. So with this application, we can now be restructuring it as we move on with it. Right? All right. We have the faculty, we have the department. So we also need to go and create a record for that has the list of faculties. We'll also create something for departments. So for each department, we should have department code. Then we would have department's name. So in short, we can also add a field called faculty inside this department so that we can tie each department under a faculty. So I can also say that so this will be table related to faculty. So let's do the same thing for faculty. I hope we are following.
Yes. So, but there's something I want to ask.
Okay.
This table now, where we have departments. So on the first table you created, I can see you create faculty and department as the feed.
Yeah.
So okay, so after that we now have separate table. I mean separate table and for faculty and departments.
Yes. Because we have different faculties in a school, and we have different departments in a school. So what we are trying to now do is that for each student record, we are able to tie them to a faculty. And when we tie them to a faculty, they should be we should be able to spool the department under that faculty. So we can attach a student to a department and a faculty as part of the student
Okay.
record.
Okay. So the student record that we created now is it a table?
Yeah, you can see now this is student record. This is a table.
Okay.
This is student record. Basic information of the student: matric number, first name, last name, age, sex, the department, and the faculty. We are still coming back
Okay.
here to table related to faculty and table related to
Faculty.
departments.
Okay. Clear.
So let's just complete this one. So I want to change all tip to faculty. So for the faculty, we have the faculty code and we have the faculty name. So I can give a primary key of the faculty code. Now we have our complete record. So let's see, what do we have missing? Okay, so that's the ID. I'm going to give this another ID. Okay, so this is good. So we now go back to the student record where we have the departments and the faculty, because we just don't want the student to just type any faculty or any department. So I'm going to change the order of this. So the faculty should come first before the department. So that I am certain that um, based on the selection year, the system should be able to filter the department so that for every faculty the student is choosing is going to bring only the list of department under that faculty. Does that make sense? So I want to use a table relation. So I want to relate this faculty to the record we just created as faculty. Right? So whenever this has been selected, I want to make a validation. I want to validate what the user has done here. So I want to use a trigger on validates. You can see I'm not using lookup because there are different purposes for me using the lookup, but I want to validate the user's selection. So I'm now saying, so now what I want to do is based on the selection here, I also want to call a temporary record of the departments. Right?
Sorry, when you declare this variable now, the
Yeah.
department is equal to record department. So
Mhm.
what's that? I mean, what are we expect to see from this?
Okay, so we want to make a trigger here, right? But
Yes.
actually, we do not need this. We do not need this for now. So I think this is where we need it because we want to automatically we are table relating this one to departments. But we only want to get record of departments where faculty, we have a field called faculty. If you go back here, we have this field faculty. So we want to now say we only want to table relate to, we only need the record of departments where the faculty is equals to this field faculty. Do you understand? Do we understand this?
No.
Okay.
I don't know if
so this is it. Just imagine it on the front end. The user is already in this column, in this field, faculty. The user click on the drop down, and the drop down brings the list of all faculty that is existing, right?
yes.
So from these existing faculties, the user now chose science. Now, as they chose science, then the only department that is going to be showing is only departments that are under science, instead of it showing all the whole departments, be it in science, be it in law, be it in arts. So that is why we're now saying, yes, we want to table relate this record to departments, but only departments where faculty is equals to the faculty above that was selected.
Okay.
Are we all on the same page?
Yes.
Okay. So this has been done. Right, so what else can be done? Let me see.
You've removed the unvalidate trigger.
Yeah, I have. There is no need for us to put it for now. We are okay with the data that the user selects at the faculty level, except we also want to check some criteria, like maybe we have a field called score, and based on the score, if the person has some if there are some criteria for us to check, maybe maths, English, and any other important subjects to be science students. If the scores is very low, so we can now say this person cannot be in faculty of science. We can now make a suggestion that maybe the person should go to arts or commercial class. So that is when we could put validation on this faculty so that it can control that decision. But for now, I don't think we actually need it. So where we can now put a validation is, let's say we now have another field called full name. So this is it. So this full name, we don't want it editable, so that when the user imputes the first name and last name, we want that to be populated. So how can we achieve that? We have to trigger on validate, begin, end. Now, we'll now check if this first name is not empty. If it is not empty, then so we want to check the two actually. If first name is not empty and last name is not empty. Are we together? We want to check if the first name is not empty and the last name is not empty, then
Yes.
we are now saying full name is equals to first name plus
Last name.
space plus last name, right? So this validation only happens if these two conditions are met. So because of that, we also want to copy this condition and paste it. So let's just copy all the validation itself and paste it here, right? So in this case, yeah, so we can still use the same condition so that whenever the user is typing on the first name, it checks the condition doesn't match, it doesn't do anything. But when the user starts to type the last name, then these two conditions are already met. First name is not empty again, last name is not empty again, then full name will be generated. So let's see other things that we can also add. So I am thinking that we should put a validation on age. So probably we want to put a setup on the faculty called eligible age. So if we put eligible age, so at the point at which user is selecting a faculty, we validate age. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to send this like this. Joseph. Sorry. Okay, I'm back. So we want to put eligible age. Right. So this is also an integer. I've bound age is school. So are we still together, please?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where do you think we put the validation? We can put it in two different places, right? So we can, let's most likely put it at the point of selecting faculty. Validate. So when the user is putting this information, I also need to reference a record to faculty. Which is per faculty. Do you know why I'm referencing faculty?
Why
Hello?
you are referencing faculty? Yes.
Yes. Do you know why?
You want to, you want to put a control on the on faculty of age on faculty level.
So that's why I'm referencing faculty.
Because
Okay.
like you said now, you said, okay.
So let me just continue instead of me. So the only reason why I'm calling faculty is that, yes, the user is going to select a faculty. So from the selection, there is no way I can access that eligible age restriction at this level. So I have to create a copy of faculty record and then pass whatever faculty the user has selected into that record so that I can have access to just that record, so that I can now check the eligible age for that particular record. So just look at it this way, that we have 1 to 5 record and the user select 5. When the user select 5, so I'm now like duplicating the record 5 so that I can have access to all the data that is under that record 5. So that is why we are doing this. So I can now say, if that record, if I can get, now this is what we were explaining that last time, based on when we should use get, when we should use set range. If you remember that, as I highlight on this, you see that we have just one primary key. What's the primary key? Faculty code, right? So that means that I
Yes.
can easily get this record.
Document number.
So
Yeah.
I'm now saying, if faculty.get, what does it want to get? This faculty that was selected. Input username. This faculty that was selected, if I can get it, then begin end. So I want to now check if faculty, or if age is lesser than faculty dot eligible age, then I want to print out an error and say, sorry. So I just want to say, sorry, you're not eligible. So I can also do this validation. I can also call this validation on the age. I say trigger on validate, and just say validate faculty. So validate faculty will just act the same way that when the user interacts with this field, this is the action that is going to occur if only the faculty can get faculty. So toba empty, if this is empty, nothing will happen. The validation will not work because it's only checking for this condition, except you now put an else and say, let's say message, just for us to see a complete action, and say else condition triggered. So at every point the user interacts with age, it will check the faculty to validate faculty. If it now happens that faculty already has been chosen, then this condition is going to be true. Else, it will fall under this message. We are together. Yes.
This else condition, so I don't really understand.
So look at the
This
main condition. We are checking if this faculty record, if it can get the selected value from the user. That means if you can find that record that the user has selected, then it should do this. It should check the eligibility age. But if the user has not even chosen any faculty, that means it's empty. It will fall under the else, because
okay.
the only reason that this one will be true is if it gets the faculty that was selected. So some of it you might not understand right now, but when we are really testing it on the front end, you will understand it better.
Okay.
But at least just keep in mind and be curious on what to expect on the front end. So
Okay.
I am thinking that we should push this first and then we start to work on it later. Now we can also, just because I want to introduce another thing here, which is the X record. Who knows what the X record does? Ta ló mọ nǹkan tí X record máa ń ṣe?
No idea.
So this is it. Look at record. Look at X record. So now, so look at this as girlfriend and ex-girlfriend. Who is your ex-girlfriend?
Okay.
Yes.
So,
yeah, you get. So if this is the current, this is my main babe. So
that's
this is
past.
my previous babe. So we can now say, just because I want to introduce that X record and current record. That's why we don't need this condition, but we just want to check. So we now want to check. You know that there's possibility that the person was in science before and they now like, I want to change my course. I want to change my faculty. I want to go to another department, another faculty, I mean. So we now want to check if X record, the department and the faculty to fill dot faculty. If X faculty, you will not have an X if you don't have a new one. So if it is not equals to the new faculty, then so we are now saying at that point, we just want to message, stay one place now. Just for
okay.
you to
Sorry. What you are trying to explain is that for someone that wants to choose another faculty, that if
Yes.
the previous record does not align with the one that he wants to shoot, that he wants to shoot, he or she
Yes.
should, he should still remain in his previous relationship with that ex.
No, yeah, we could have done that, but we are just messaging in this case. We are just checking. So anything that makes an X record to exist and it is not equal to this current record, yes, that means the person has already chosen a faculty before then, is now choosing a newer faculty. So yes, you are right. But in this case, we were just messaging just for us to see how that condition works.
So,
Okay.
Mr. Sis,
Hmm.
quick one. Okay, sorry. You see this condition now, you say if X record faculty is equal to current faculty, right?
Oh, it's not equals to, sorry. It's not equals to. If the X faculty is not equals to the current faculty, then message, stay one place.
Okay.
That means a change must have occurred. So let me also simulate this with Adejari. Remember when we are doing sales customization, when the user selects white products, or you now later change it to lubricants, that the page is going to now reload. So these are the conditions.
Yes.
We are now checking that kilo koko mutele, kini option to koko mutele. What's the option you chose before? You chose white products. We are now checking, is there a change? Is there a difference between white product and lubricant? If you change white product to white product, nothing will happen. You change white product to lubricant, then there's a difference. So that event is going to occur. Is that fine?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, I think it's clear now.
Professor Abimbola?
Aribola will annoy me.
I'm not really focused on the work I'm doing, crafting, so I have to so that I cannot lose it.
Kò sí wàhálà, Professor. No wàhálà. Okay.
Iṣẹ́ tó yẹ kó gbé dẹ̀, èmi kò ti ṣe.
All right, so let's work with this first. So let's create a represented pages. So let me just create a folder for it so that I'm able to differentiate it, because so inside my example folder, I'll just create departments. We'll create faculty also. We'll create students. So for students, we are going to create card and also a list for students. So see page. So I want to create a card page. Because I don't want it accessible directly by searching. So I'm going to remove application area and usage category. So I can segment this to general information.
Why do you choose general information area?
We can use anything actually. So I'm just, you can give a caption actually. Give it any other thing you want.
The source
The source
table,
what? Yeah.
the source table.
Mm.
I think it should be student record.
Are you sure?
No, it can't be student record. It makes use of student there. It's only the
The
AI name,
name
the
of the
name
file.
that is carried here.
So
Hello, sir.
I'm
My
listening.
net's okay. Okay. So I'm just looking at the source table.
You know what? If you look at the student record I did earlier, the record name is student record and the page name is student. I mean, table name is student. It's not student record. That is why it's using
Okay.
student as the store
Students.
instead of
Okay.
student
I'm
record.
just. Oh yes. What I'm saying. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Wow. Network is.
All right, so that means we can continue, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, this guy will not work again. Okay. I usually make use of that snippets, but I think I didn't install it right this time. So it will automatically allow me to select multiple. Okay. So I have to start adding it myself. So we have Matric number. So I can copy this, paste it. All right, so we have matric number, first name, first name, last name, full name. I think we have age.
So the way you are structuring it now, this is how it's going to be structured on our front end.
Front end, yes. We have what again? Faculty, I think.
Departments.
Faculty first, so that faculty input makes the department.
Okay.
Now, so we want to make sure that this is compulsory.
Okay.
Also, to make that establish, not blank is equals to true. At any point, this cannot be left blank. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste this here. Last name is compulsory.
Okay, so this is what
Last name is
prompts those
compulsory.
required.
Yes, that's red. Yes. Yes. So for matric number, do you notice that we did not specify a way this matric number is going to be generated? So we want to automatically generate matric number. So I want to put this as editable false. So I'm just going to use false. Okay, so what can I do next? So let's go back to the record so that let's go back to the table so that we can now put the condition that creates this matric number automatically. So I'll just go all the way down. I'm going to our event on insert, right? So we cannot remember when we explained all these events. So you already have an idea on when this is going to occur. So, but before then, we need to reference. There's a code unit that is responsible for generating number series. So let me call it number series.
Number series management.
Okay. So code units. So the name of the code unit now, before the code unit was number series management, but now it is called just number series. Right? So yeah, what do we want to check? So we want to check if matric number is empty. Then we want to generate number series. So what should we generate? So we now say matric number is equals to number series management. So if I put my cursor on it, I can see the argument it takes. So I can see that, okay, so dots, there is get next number. This get next number is just going to check our number series table and check the last used number series and generate the next one. So I'm going to use this get next number series. If I highlight on it, what does it take? It only takes number series code. Now, so this is where we need a place to put the setup for students, right? So what should I do? Okay, so for now, let me hard code it. Let me say the number series we want to use is student. It's called student on our number series table. Do we understand this?
Can't we use figure instead of
Figure. What do you mean?
Sorry, number series, matrix number is just like the number series we use to identify each employee on the ERP. Immediately you select the employee number, this in that number series, there is going to auto-populate that employee details. The same thing as matric number. Once you select matric number in that place, that this is the social matric number you have selected, it's going to populate the name of that matric number. The person the matric number belongs to is going to populate it. Maybe that's the reason why you're using number series here.
Yeah, Adejare is right. So this is what we are doing. This is the number series on the system, right? If I click on number series, you see that we have code.
Yes.
For customer now, CUS. This is the number series used for CUS. Now, we are now saying the system should go and check number series for students. If you see any number series for students, that means you should make use of the number series that we have defined here.
Okay.
Students, when it doesn't find the students, an error will occur. So it's more like that's why we make use of setup pages. That okay, for you to use the students, these are the necessary setup you need to provide. You'll see that. Let me also show this to you. That's how we have for sales. We have receivable.
Sales receivable setup.
Sales receivable setup. Under sales receivable setup, we have a column called number series. So for customer, we have already defined that the system should go and look for CUS on the number series. It will see the definition for the number series we want to use. For code number, it should come here. For sales order, come here. Return sales order for invoice. So that's exactly what we are trying to do. But we are now hard coding it that just go and check for students instead of coming to the setup page, check what was provided there, and then go and check the number series for that value. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay. So I believe we are done at this point. So we just need to create a list page for faculty and a list page for departments, and then a list page for students. We've created a profile for students. That is a card, but we need to also create a student list. So TP. So you can see that this time around, I want to choose a list page. So I also want to relate it to students. Give it an ID. So I'm going to share the source code. We are going to build on top of it, and then we are going to come back and then we'll continue with this. So just build whatever you can build on top of it, and then you just demo it for, let's see, student list. Okay, so in order for me to now say, I want to link this list to the student profile. So I can say card page ID. The page ID for this list, it should be looking into students profile. So that's whenever you see the list of students that we have, when you click on it, it just open a profile for you. But at the same time, we don't want this list to be editable. So let me show you what I mean. Okay. So if I go into, let me see, what do we have on the system? That is editable. Why are they not coming to mind now? Okay, when I publish, I can't remember anything right now, but when I publish, I'm going to show you the difference of not using this editable force and using this editable force. So from here, I also want to say insert allowed is false. I don't want any insertion should occur from this list page. Modification, no. Deletion, I don't want anybody to be able to delete. So this is fine. So instead of me starting to generate that manually, let me just copy all of these fields and paste it inside the repeater and remove all of this.
Okay. The one we remove now, all those things are above and it's going to work for it.
I don't get.
As in, you removed editable under machine number. It means that the one you wrote up under page type, list, all these ones is going to work for something.
Yes, it's going to work for it. Okay, so this is what we have. We are done with the students. So let's go to the faculty and create a list page. So this time around, you can see how much time it takes us to just create. So this is faculty list, right? And it has a table called faculty. Now, editable is true by default. So you see the effect of editable here. And I think we have just faculty code. We have faculty name. Then we have eligible age. Right, so this is fine. So I'm just going to copy all of this, paste it for my department, and change the numbers to the ID, and make this a department. And make this also a department. So I think the last thing we have there is a faculty. Yeah. So we can also make sure that these ones are compulsory also. It's compulsory for each registration. True. Department. This also is true. So we can also just add not blank, not blank, not blank. So let's do the same thing for faculty. I think we have some error inside. how to copy these two together. I will be leaving anytime from now. So let me see what's different here. What's the error? Okay, I think we have error. Okay. I think we are good, right? So all of them look good. So let's publish. So I'm going to publish on Sandbox 1 or 2. Let me publish on Sandbox 1.
Takodo. Maria.
You can later give it. Me, I'll be going now.
Okay,
so
okay.
let's see.
Yeah.
So you can see that the full name has been generated. Toluokpe.
Yes, and
So
it's not
age.
editable.
Yes.
Tolu don't enter in response mode.
So age.
I
I go do like say I no hear you.
I
I
know
go do like say I
Shema.
no hear you.
Èmi fẹ́
Age.
jẹ kìíní ṣá o. Èmi fẹ́ jẹ
ẹ
gba
wo
o.
age.
No
I
no
do
age
age.
no age.
Else condition ló wà.
Okay, S condition trigger, yes.
S condition.
So science. Tí bá mú science nísìn, sorry, you are not eligible. That's because I'm 8 years old. So tí bá ti wà ní 15 or 14 and above. Else the trigger again. Stay one place. So I have changed. Okay. So 15 is okay.
So just 17 years máa gbé kíní ẹ wá.
So CMP. So tí bá change eléyìí náà sí arts. So age wo la fi sí arts? 17.
17, yes.
So torí ẹ lè ṣe fún ẹlẹ́rọ yìí. So nǹkan tá a máa ṣe again is we will write a condition when this has changed, then department should be erased so that they have to select departments.
Okay.
So you can play with it and then note
Anything that we can add
this application so that we can build on top of it. Yes.
Sandbox.
So let me share the file.
Sandbox 1 àbí?
Sandbox 1, yes.
Our Sandbox 1. Okay.
Àbí kò lọ Sandbox o. Bẹ́ẹ̀ mi ṣe wà ẹ̀. Fẹ́ sáré parí iṣẹ́ Mr. Medi. Àwọn abẹ́rẹ́ padà.
Èmi ṣe ń lọ. Mo fẹ́ lọ ṣe fún mi ní village.
Kí ló tún ṣe fóònù ẹ̀ báyìí?
So maybe when I come back, you can note it and so let's meet back. So I'm already late where I'm going to actually. So
okay. You said you are going to drop something.
Shinlon.
Èmi àti Olúmọ ti sọ̀rọ̀ sí. Ẹ̀yin ọ̀gá, ẹ ṣé o. Ọlọ́run á bá mi kún gbogbo yín lọ́wọ́. Oh, thanks for the gift. Tó bá yẹ kó wà níbí báyìí ni. I just want to take the time and appreciate everybody. So God will bless you all and God will increase our knowledge and give us the